welcome to the video tutorial for Safe in Sussex's 2022 Gingerbread House. I'm Faye Miller and I run Gingerbread World. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm the person responsible for supplying all the gingerbread kits that you are going to be decorating. So this year, this is the design here, as you can see. It's a bit different from previous years, designed by one of the pupils at St Oscar Romero's School in Worthing. Then we take the kit and we turn it into a usable gingerbread house. So it's got a little tower to it and it's got slightly sloping walls. So it does make it a little bit harder to construct. However, I have put together a video which I hope you'll be able to follow, which will give you some ideas and tips on how to put the house together, how to construct it, and how to make sure it stands up. If you have any questions, you can always come and find me in our Facebook page, which is @FabulousGingerbread, or our Facebook gingerbread group, which is all things gingerbread as well. Or by all means, just email me, Faye, F-A-Y, @gingerbreadworld.co.uk. So I hope you have fun decorating the gingerbread house. As I say, if you have any questions about this little bad boy, do give me a call or an email or drop me a line on Facebook and we'll be happy to help.
The first thing you need is a good icing to stick your gingerbread house together. This is your concrete, your glue, whatever you want to call it. So you mix royal icing and egg white together to make a thick paste. As you can see here, I've made a very thick paste so it flops over but it holds its shape. Once you've mixed that up, you're going to pop a bit in your piping bag, fill it probably about half full and tie a knot in the end of it so that you do not squeeze the icing out. And then you should have a piping bag ready to start decorating your house like that. Now it's a lot easier to decorate your pieces flat, so that's what I've done, but you can see here where I broke them, and it does happen, but I've just stuck them together again with a bit of royal icing. I've left them to set, so those pieces are perfectly fine to use. Your kit should be fine, but if that does happen, then that is certainly something you can do. Now it's a lot easier to decorate your pieces flat and allow gravity to help you with that. You can just stick your house together, but I find it's a lot easier to pipe on the pieces and decorate and then let them dry before you put them together. So if you cut a hole about 3 mil thick in your piping tube, and then you can start to pipe onto the pieces. Now I'm starting with the roof pieces here, and again you can do whatever patterns you like. I'm purely doing little roof tiles because I like the look of it, and adding some Smarties in, but you can do crisscross pattern, you could do dots, you can cover it with chocolate buttons, you can cover it with sliced almonds, dried fruit, all sorts of things, whatever you fancy. But once you've got your pieces decorated, then you can start to put together the house. So you can cut a bigger hole in your icing tube about 5 mil thick. Now you want to take your back piece, not the front piece like I've just picked up there. You want to take the back piece and you want to add some thick icing onto the bottom of it. So you pipe a nice thick line on the bottom, and then you're going to pipe some bits on each side. Right the way along the length of that tower and on that side as well. Then you're going to lay that piece down carefully so as not to get too much icing everywhere else, and you're going to take the long side piece, holding it carefully, and you're going to pipe a long thick line on the bottom edge. Now you're going to butt it up against the back piece on your board. So you're going to put the back piece upright, and then you're going to slot that long piece in place like that. Because it's at an angle, it might fall a little bit. You might need to put something there to hold it while it sets. So I've just put my little bowl of Smarties there just to hold it in place while it sets. Next, you're going to take your tower side pieces and you're going to add icing to those and get them into place. There goes one. So I'm just putting it into place very carefully and gently pressing it into place. You don't want to press it into place too hard. You don't want to squish all the icing out from the gaps. You're going to take the other flat tower piece and do exactly the same on the opposite side. just like that. So that's most of the tower built. Now you're going to take the other pointy bit and you're just going to put some icing on either side and on the base again, and then you're going to slot that final piece into place. Again, you might need to fiddle with it a bit just to get it to fit in one position if it's a bit wonky. See, I'm just fiddling with it because I'm not quite happy with the shape of it, so just to make it nice and square, but it should be standing up at this point. So you can leave it to dry for a bit at this point, or you can crack on to the next bit. Before you stick the short side on, just make sure that it fits, because sometimes in cooking they do come up a bit larger. So I've just trimmed mine slightly on both sides to make sure it fits. I did start to put it on and realise it didn't fit, so I had to take it off and trim it again. So I've just trimmed it and I'm just checking that it now fits and everything is square and flush for the board. So you want to put a big thick bit of icing on the side and on the bottom, just like that. You can put another bit on the other side for fixing the front on. And you're just going to slot that into place at an angle against that tower and just press it in gently in place. Again, you may need to use something just to support it while it's drying, or it might stay up enough while you repeat what you did on the back. With the front piece, you're going to put two thick bits of icing either side and on the bottom, and then you're going to slot that into place. So there we go, that's slotted into place, and I'm just fiddling with those side bits just to make sure that they're all in alignment and they all line up. Again, as I said, you might want to put a little thing on the side, on that short side, just to make sure that it stays up while it's drying. So I've just got another pot of sprinkles, I'm just resting gently against it to hold it in place. Now, while it's drying, you can either go straight onto the roof bit, but it's easy if you let it dry a bit, and if you're not sure everything's sticking properly, you can always add a bit of icing like I'm doing here to the inside of the structure, just to give it a bit more strength. Once that sets hard, that will be very strong, and your gingerbread house should stay upright. Now we're on to the roof panel once your piece has had a bit of a chance to dry. So I'm just testing that that top roof piece fits in place. Now mine doesn't quite fit in place because again it's got slightly out of shape during the cooking process. With the best will in the world, sometimes gingerbread does spread a little bit, so it's not quite fitting. So what I did at this point was take it off and just trim up that gingerbread slightly around that tower bit, so now it fits perfectly and I'm happy with the fit. So I'm going to take that piece off and then I will put icing on the roof edges to make sure it fits properly. So you can see that side of the house now. You can see that that gingerbread piece should fit in quite nicely in the gap there. Should fit snugly. But if it doesn't, you can always just trim those edges slightly with a sharp knife. Just need a bit more icing here. If you haven't got enough left in the bag, I would recommend using your second bag and adding a bit more icing in, so you don't run out halfway through. The last thing you want is to run out halfway through when you're trying to stick the roof on and you just haven't got enough icing. So get some more icing in the bag, cut another 5mm hole, and then you're ready to go again. So there we go, just adjusting mine because I didn't let mine set, and I'm going straight from one thing to the other. So here we go, adding in some icing on those roof edge pieces. Nice thick bit of icing. You can be quite generous with the icing here to really help it stick and hold. There we go. So you can just slot that into place, gently pressing it into place. Now the tower part of the house will support it somewhat while it's drying, and it should stay upright. But if you're not sure it's going to stay upright, here, see where I'm pointing, then you can always add something in to hold it upright. Just make sure you've got something of the right height. This is me always searching around for something of the right height to hold up a gingerbread house roof. But luckily I have a handy pot of sprinkles, which is almost the right height. So I've lifted the lid, there we go, under it goes, and it's just the right height, just to hold that in place while it sets. Oops, it's come out. So I'm just popping that in place to hold that one still in place while it's setting. Now you're going to repeat the same thing with the large roof panel on this side, putting a nice big thick line of icing up each side of the house and along that bottom edge. Then you're going to take your last roof panel and you're going to slot that carefully into place. Again, I've got something there ready to hold it just while it sets to stop the roof panel sliding. It's not quite tall enough, so I'm using a spare bit of gingerbread there just to hold it up, just to sit right underneath that there. And while that is setting, you can add the roof panels for your roof, your tower piece, your chimney piece, if you like, exactly the same way that you did for the larger roof. You're just going to add some thick bits of icing on each side. Then you're going to grab your two small roof panels and you're just going to press them gently into place. There we go. So now your house is together, it's time to finish off the roof bit.
So, best laid plans, and unfortunately my video cut out just when I was finishing the house. Don't know why, my camera's just playing up a bit at the moment. So I'm going to talk you through how to finish the rest of the house. If I hold it up to the screen, where it stopped, I was just starting to pipe a bit on the roof here. And then I was just putting a few sprinkles on, which is exactly what you can do with your house. I've also, as you can see, I've piped some bits around the front and I've stuck some more of the Smarties on. I've done the same with the top of the roof there, so on the little tower bit, so you can add some bits in to hide those edges up. You can decorate those. I've also started to decorate the side of the tower there. And again, I've done the same on the back, add some Smarties on, and then again on the front. So that is the final bit of your gingerbread house decorating. Obviously it's up to you. These are just suggestions from me about how to decorate your house. You can do whatever you want. You can also put it on a bigger board. You can add things in, add trees in, add presents, add snowmen, add Father Christmases, add penguins, you name it, whatever you want to do, you can add them in. These are just purely some suggestions to sort of show you how to put the house together and how I would decorate some of these houses. But that's just me, that's just my personal style. What I really want to see is your personal style in these houses. So I will leave you with it there, and what I would love to see is your houses on December the 8th, gingerbread house competition, and see what you've all created. If you're not entering the competition and you're just decorating houses for your own creative enjoyment, then by all means post them online, Facebook, find us on Instagram at Fabulous Gingerbread, and we would love to see what you've done. Otherwise, happy decorating, and I look forward to seeing all your creations very soon.